I want to be really bloody clear about something. And this is for the people who are abusing the system that don't need to. So Canadians that have been here a long time are really struggling hard to survive, including food poverty. And there are systems like the food bank and churches that are there for the people who need it, not for the people abusing it, who have a very good support system in place, plus, you know, living in a big family, hoarding food and money, who can just go to the store and buy food because you guys can afford it. There's a lot of people who can't, like regular Canadians, who are in between jobs, who are one disability check away from the street, who are veterans, who served this country. Now, if you have the funds to go to the store and afford food, you do not need these other programs like the food bank, because the system is saturated. And why do you think that is? Because there's people abusing the system that don't have to. And you know, it's really bad to do that, eh? Really bad. So if you have a conscience, then maybe you should think about what you're doing. Okay. When people are abusing the system, you have to think about other people. And people, if they think that living on a disability check can allow us to go to the store at any given time to get food at the price that they're at, you're delusional. People on disability cannot afford food, okay, who are honestly on disability for a good reason, for medical issues and so forth. So take a really hard look at yourself when you are abusing the system when you don't need to, when you have enough of your own resources through whatever way it's being siphoned, okay? Real Canadians who need the programs are living in very dire situations. They're one check away from the street. So I want you to think about that. Think about that, okay? If you don't need the system, don't abuse it. If you're going to be a dick on this platform, I'm blocking you. Full stop.
Canada right now? Yeah, we've got a problem. This is seriously getting out of control.
Workers, stand firm!
Look at this. Huge protests happening because people's work permits are expiring and they're demanding extensions to stay in Canada. For people who don't know, many of these programs were around 16 months of study, and after that, people got work permits for up to 3 years. So basically, short-term study, but long-term work access to recover money and build a life here. And now that those permits are expiring, people are asking for more time. But it didn't stop at protests. Some of them went to meet Sikh community leaders, expecting them to raise these issues with the government after meetings with Doug Ford. But when they felt their concerns weren't being pushed forward, things got heated.
ਲੇਡੀਜ਼ ਤੇ ਹੱਥ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਜੀ ਲੇਡੀਜ਼ ਤੇ ਹੱਥ ਲਾ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ ਭਾਈ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੋਸ਼ਲ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਤੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਜਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਜੀ ਔਰ ਟਰਬਨ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਲੇਡੀਜ਼ ਤੇ ਆ ਗਰਲ ਤੇ ਹੱਥ ਚੱਕੇ ਆ ਉਹਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਜੀ ਪਰੇ ਉਹ ਅੰਦਰ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਲੇਡੀਜ਼ ਤੇ ਹੱਥ ਚੱਕੇ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਪਰੇ ਔਰੇਂਜ ਟਰਬਨ ਦੀ ਵੀਡੀਓ ऑरेंज टर्बन नहीं हाँ खड़े हैं ऑरेंज टर्बन इनका लाइया जी भाई यार वीडियो बनाई जाना भाई वीडियो बना सकता भाई वीडियो बना तो रोक रहा मैं बोल हाँ भाई मैं बोल रहा बोल हाँ देख लो जी बिहेवियर देख लो की रोकया ते वीडियो इत्थे सारे पत्रकार भी ਇੱਥੇ ਆ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਵੀਡੀਓ ਬਣਾਉਣ ਤੋਂ ਰੋਕਦੇ ਆ ਸਿੱਖ ਹੈਰੀਟੇਜ ਮੰਥਾ ਬਾਈ ਕਾਨੂੰਨ ਛੱਡ ਆ ਬਾਈ ਆ ਬਿਹੇਵੀਅਰ ਤਾਂ ਦੇਖ ਓਏ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਦੇ ਹੀ ਆ ਸਾਰੇ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਹੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਨਾ ਬਾਈ ਹੈਗੇ ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਸਮਝਦੇ ਹਮਦਰਦੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਰੋਣਾ ਬੋਲੇ ਚੰਗੇ
ਉਹਨੂੰ ਉਹਦੀ ਹੈਲਪ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਇਹ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਬੋਲੀ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਸਾਲਾ
ਉਹ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ
ਉਹ ਭਾਈ ਗਾਲ ਤੂੰ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਕੱਢਦਾ
ਉਹਨਾਂ ਗੱਡੀਆਂ ਦੱਸ
ਹਾਂ
ਐਵੇਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਰੌਲਾ ਪਾਈ
ਪੰਜਾਬ ਚ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਨਾ ਤੈਨੂੰ
You can see arguments, shouting, even internal conflict within the same community. And now you've got people fighting each other. Some say they invested huge money into coming here. Others say the rules were always temporary from the start. But one thing is clear, this confusion has turned into frustration. And if this isn't handled properly, it's only going to get worse.
What the fuck, Canada? Give me a second, because this story is freaking wild. An international student in Canada on an expired permit was allowed to stay after attempting auto theft. So this guy was on a study permit, and he went to college, but then he got kicked out of college. You'll see why in a second. Then he stayed in Canada, illegally. So it's already bad enough as it is, and he should have been deported right then and there. But he went on to do amazing things. And I'll let you guess real quick which country he was from. Are we surprised? So he was enrolled in college, but after 2 semesters ended up homeless, jobless, and by his own admission, addicted to weed. Right then and there, he should have left the country because he's not following his visa anymore, but regardless, he stayed. And then his study permit expired on July 30th, 2024, so he was also without status anymore in Canada when the relevant event took place. What are we talking about here? Well, he flew to Vancouver after some guy offered him a job over there as long as he helped him do a little errand. And that little errand was steal from a BMW dealership, because that's what normal people do when they get offered jobs. They steal cars. So he was subsequently arrested, but Crown prosecutor did not pursue criminal charges. Are we surprised here? Because they said that he was a dupe. He had been duped. Regardless, he was referred though to CBSA for deportation because he was now clearly inadmissible to Canada for participating in organized crime. But we know where this is going because this is fucking Canada. The tribunal member, Marianne Kingman, the judge, basically said that I find that the respondent was a dupe whose personal circumstances led him into trouble. See, I mean, whenever I have issues, clearly I go steal cars as well. It was trouble that a local prosecutor did not consider worth pursuing for a domestic criminal charge. She went on to say that there are reasonable grounds to believe the respondent committed the domestic crime described by the minister as attempted theft of a vehicle, identity fraud, and forgery. Just tack it on. However, committing a domestic crime is not the same as having knowledge and involvement in an organized criminal organization. Okay, who cares? And then he was allowed to stay. He was allowed to stay in Canada. Disregard the fact that he has no status here. He did not even abide by the terms of his first visa. He's got no visa. He's from India illegally here, and then he commits crimes. Who cares if it's organized crime or just a petty theft? It's a crime. We welcomed you into our country. We opened our doors, and then you lied to us. You did not do what you were supposed to. Then you hurt our society by stealing from an honest business. Why are you here? Why isn't our government upholding our laws? And why are we giving treatments to foreigners who clearly show contempt for our way of life, our culture, and our society? In Canada, we're all equal under the law. Unless you're not actually from here, then you get special privileges. But if you're from Canada, screw it. You're going to jail, bud. This is why people are losing faith in our institutions.
Canada's immigration debate is becoming bigger every single day. And now more people are openly speaking about issues like visa overstays, refugee fraud, illegal work permits, and crimes connected to some temporary residents. Many Canadians feel frustrated because they believe their system is becoming too soft and easily abused. At the same time, genuine immigrants who follow the law are also getting affected because the actions of a small group create a negative image for everyone. In my opinion, moving to another country is not wrong at all. People travel for better jobs, education, safety, and a better future. But when someone enters a country temporarily and then refuses to respect the rules after their visa expires, that's where the problem starts. A country cannot function properly if laws are ignored again and again. What makes people even more angry is when some individuals get involved in scams, fraud, theft, or violent crimes after overstaying illegally. Then social media spreads these stories everywhere, and suddenly the public starts losing trust in the immigration system itself. Canadians are now asking a simple question. If someone comes temporarily, why should they stay permanently by breaking rules? And honestly, that question is understandable. Every country has immigration laws for a reason. If people want permanent residency, they should apply legally instead of misusing loopholes or protesting to force the government into changing decisions. But at the same time, this discussion should never become about hating all immigrants. That would be unfair and dangerous. Millions of immigrants work hard every day, respect Canadian culture, pay taxes, follow laws, and contribute positively to society. Without immigrants, many industries in Canada would struggle badly. So the real solution is not hate. The solution is stricter law enforcement against people who abuse the system while protecting genuine immigrants, who are trying to build honest lives. Personally, I believe if you move to another country, you should respect that country's culture, laws, and people. Follow the rules, work honestly, and when your visa ends, renew it properly or return legally instead of creating problems. Because once trust is broken, public anger grows very fast. Canada has every right to protect its system. But good immigrants also deserve fairness and respect. In the end, immigration should help a country grow, not create division and chaos. But what do you think about this situation? Do you think Canada should become stricter? Or do you think social media is exaggerating these problems too much? Let me know your opinion in the comment.